family bug out bag. Stick around. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Three Rivers Survival. So as you can see, what I had done is I pretty much dumped out all my family's bug out bags, reconsolidated, threw some stuff out, put some stuff in, and we're going to get into it. All right, there is a lot of stuff here on the table. Remember, it's for a family of 4. So myself, my wife, and my 2 children, 2 boys, 8 and 4. And the reason why I'm doing this is because the bug out bags haven't been touched in years. They need to be updated. Batteries need to be changed. Food might spoil. What can we consolidate? You know, the kids get bigger, so their clothing, they grow out of their clothing, that kind of thing. So we're going to cover all that, all right? So let me just drop the camera so you guys can get a better look at what I'm looking at, and then we'll talk a little bit about some of the items. In my opinion, the best thing to do is to organize. So as you can see, what I had done is I use SOE bags. You don't have to use SOE bags. You can use any bags that you want. But you'll see I have a sustainment bag, which is basically a kit bag, and a backpack. All right. I also have one. This is multicam. That's for one son. I also have Marpat. All right. That's for my other son. The Woodland is for myself. And then I have some Cryptek for my wife. And you'll see there's a theme that goes along with this. So let's get back to the table and I'll explain it to you. All right, guys, I just showed you 2 different types of bags. One is going to be the backpack. And the reason that I have the backpack is just for your emergency 72-hour kit. And again, I wanted to kind of put everything together in that backpack for an emergency kit only. All right, so whatever is your immediate emergency, such as you got to grab a bag and go, that is your bag. Now the supplemental bag or the kit bag is just something that I use to add extra stuff, extra clothing, extra foods, that kind of thing. And I find out that it works a lot better when you color coordinate it. You don't have to buy from SOE. I'm just saying I have a bunch of SOE gear because I like their kit. Their kit is very expensive, but it's also very durable, and that's why I purchase it. Now I'm going to have Amazon links below to all this stuff here with the exception of SOE. So if you wanted to buy backpacks in different colors and you think it helps, that's fine. I will say that bugging out with a large family is not a good idea at all. You're leaving your primary residence or the shelter, the food, and everything else that you have. It is not a good idea. However, there might be circumstances where you have no choice, such as floods, earthquakes, civil unrest, that kind of thing. And if that's the scenario, I'd rather have something prepared, ready to go. I will say that you do need to test your kit. You will need to buy good top quality stuff. Please don't buy any of those prepackaged things. They just are garbage. They have really terrible stuff. And if you find yourself in the woods or lost or something like that, it's probably not going to help you out all too much. For me, myself, the way we're going to do this is I have set up my own bug out bags for my whole entire family, and everything's going to be very, very similar across the board. The reason why I set it up like that is because I should be able to talk through any one of my family members to know exactly what's in their kit. I know what's in it, not because of the person that they are, but because all the bags are exactly the same. The only difference is the color. The color allows our family to decipher which one and who it belongs to. That's all it is. It's not about being tactical or anything else. So that allows us to do a lot of different things. It allows me to control what goes in the bag. Also, if somebody's not trained, such as my wife or children, at least they know that they have a certain amount of kit in there that will help them sustain themselves should we get separated. And I know approximately how long I have to get to them to rescue them. All right, so that's really what it's all about. Now, I will say this is not about going out into the woods. All right, we're not talking about going out into the woods. We're going to take this kit, those 2 kit bags, the one that you saw, and the backpack, throw it on your back, and you're going to go to a hotel or a secure area. Then we're going to make our way up to our retreat cabin where we can survive for whatever long or as necessary as possible, getting away from the urban environment. All right, I do live in an urban environment. It is getting worse. We are planning to move. However, I want these kit bags available should something bad happen. All right, so with all that being said, have an open mind, get a pen and paper if you like. Again, I'll put all the links down below to all this stuff. All right, let's talk a little bit about shelter. When it comes to shelter, we're going to talk about, like I just said, we're going to a destination. We're going to get in our vehicle, throw these things in our vehicle, head to a hotel or a place of safety, a friend's house, stage all our gear, and then move on to the next step. However, you should have something available on the road to your travel, on the road while you're traveling to your destination to give you some type of cover. Cover can be sleeping bags, all right? So we all have one USGI sleeping bag per person, all right? They're a little bit expensive. They're about $400, but in my opinion, I have yet to see those sleeping bags or yet to see a series of sleeping bags that actually work as well as the USGIs. You can get them on Amazon. I'll put a link down below. Every single person, I don't care how big or small, has one. All right, they will grow into it if they need to. The ones that you buy for your children, the kiddie ones, we still have those, but that's for summertime. All right, right now it's about 30 degrees here in the Northeast, so it's very cold. Also, shelter. So every one of my kids does have some type of blanket or cover with them. Now, you're going to see a lot of these. These are the SOE bivvies, and the SOE bivvies are okay. They will be in the pack as an emergency item. This will go into your backpack. However, the problem with these is they don't provide any type of insulation. It's only the insulation you have on your body that's warming you up. So what I do is I pack at least one fleece or wool blanket. Again, this is my son's. I forget what cartoon this is. If you know, you could put it in the comments. But this is just an old fleece blanket. So this, in conjunction with this, and in conjunction with cold weather items. All right. So this is a full face chamois. I got some gloves. I also pack all of their clothing in some type of wet bag or dry bag. All right, so inside here, change of clothes, and again, another fleece. All right, this is the type of clothing that should be inside your backpack, along with some wool socks, a change of clothing. That's it. All right, there's not a lot of room in there, so you can't stuff a whole bunch of stuff. But again, when it comes to shelter, you're going to need to bundle up. All right, so yes, let's say that we go to a hotel room and everybody has the same exact idea. Now we're sleeping in our vehicles. All right, so sleeping in the vehicle overnight is not ideal. But again, if you had to park somewhere safe and you needed some extra clothing, that's part of your shelter bundle. If you want to pack some tents and tarps, that's fine. I have no problem with that. But again, you're running out of space. These backpacks right here are about the same size of JanSport, okay? The only difference is they're made a little bit better. But if you wanted to get a JanSport in a different color, I'll put the links down below. JanSports are probably about 20 bucks. But again, this is a little bit more robust. You decide on what backpacks that you want. All right, water. Bring it, clean it, store it. All right, that's what happens when it comes to water. Now, for my setup, what I had done is make sure that every single person in my family has one of these nice Nalgene 32-ounce bottles. They are clear. You can see through them. And again, what we had done is everybody picked a color. So my boy likes orange, my wife pink, all right, and then I got the blue, all right. And the reason we did this is because they're color coordinated. Everybody knows which bottle is whose. We're not drinking out of each other's bottles in case somebody gets sick. Yes, they are not steel. Yes, they are small mouth versus large mouth, all right? Again, I'm not too concerned. This is a very quick bug out situation. I'm not too concerned about that. We're not going to be heating up or sitting around a campfire unless we absolutely have to. But again, I also added on there nesting cups. These nesting cups are Glacier stainless steel, GSI, all right? These are really nice nesting cups. Small enough to put some soups, that kind of thing in there. All right, so with that, those things are going to be inside. Those things are going to be inside the packs. Also, SOE, inside here, you're also going to have water purification, and every single one of my family members has a Sawyer Mini. all right, Sawyer Mini. So this way, if anything happens where we come across some dirty water, we can clean the water, put it back in our canteens, and we're good to go, all right? Again, very minimalist type of work, all right? I'm not trying to set up a whole bunch of pots and pans. I'm dealing with children. They're going to be tired. They're going to be cranky. If we have to camp out in the outdoors, it's going to be a bad day. So I'm trying not to do that, all right? That might happen, and we do have some backup plans just because. But again, ideally, get into the car, get to your destination as quick as possible. That's all we're doing, all right? So again, have water, fill up those water bottles, put them in your bag. If you want to use a water bladder, even better, get a couple water bladders, put them in there, fill them up. Also have a way to clean your water, all right? Again, I also have these for every one of my family members, all right? These are Stanley cups. These cups are outstanding. I highly recommend it. They also come with 2 inserts. This is a 20-ounce Stanley cup. All right, these things are fantastic. They're made of aluminum, I believe. And you can boil water in there if you need to. I've already shown my son how to boil snow. So if it's a cold weather environment, we also have the nesting cups. So we can boil water, we can cook things in it. We can also purify our water without any type of heat. I also have tablets inside these packs. All right, when it comes to food, every single person in my family is going to have one of these. All right, this is just a small 24-hour junk food binge bag. All right, what I had done here is I got a couple ramen noodles, I got some treats, I got some snacks, I got some, Vienna sausages. All right, every single one of those is going to go inside the pack. That is a munch and go kind of thing, all right? What I wanted to do is the first day or two is going to be a little bit rough. So what I wanted to do is have food that's readily available and not cook. All right. I don't want to cook. Get on the road as quickly as possible. The only difference here is that if you want to use the soup bottle or soup cans, again, all you need to do is you can fill it up with water. You don't have to heat it up. It's just going to take a little bit longer. Alternately, if you do have some time, you can use this and heat up the water and then pour that in there as well. All right, so very quick, on-the-go type of stuff that you can just throw in your pack and not have to worry about it. I wanted the family to have enough food and calories to where they are satisfied, and then when we sit somewhere, we can do something like this. All right, these ReadyWise foods are super lightweight. I highly recommend them. They taste fantastic. You can share it. Again, we have nesting cups. We have all that type of stuff. A couple other options. MREs. Every single bag will have at least 1 MRE in it. You can field strip it if you like. These are a ton of calories inside here. With children, you do have to watch what they're getting into. So again, you don't want to put all kinds of cocoa powder base and just eat it, So you got to have a little bit more of an eye on them. But these are fantastic. Every single bag gets at least 1. You can also use these, which are okay, these SOS survival rations. But the problem with these is that they're very dense, but they're super heavy. If you put 4 of these in your bag, you're going to be miserable. They are just a heavy brick. Now, again, what you can do is put the junk food bag and put this bag and put this with it. This way you have a little bit of variety in your diet. But again, you're really just trying to get from A to B, all right? And the food that you can also, in one of these bags, I also have traps. I don't know how long we're going to be out there, so snare wire, that kind of thing. You can carry that if you want. Also, if you're carrying a rifle, you can go hunting. Fishing kit, you can also put in these bags. All that kind of stuff is great. But again, you don't want to be so heavy that now everybody's bogged down. You kind of want to just get this done, all right? So again, be light, make sure you carry enough food, make sure you carry enough snacks so people aren't miserable and angry. They have the calories that they need. And then again, when you could sit down and actually have a meal, that's when this takes place. All right, navigation. So the people that are going to be navigating are myself and my wife. All right, so I have navigation, I have maps, I have all that stuff. Those go in our backpacks. What I had also done is I purchased these Sunto A10s. These A10s run about $20, $25. They're really good basic compasses. And if you're not teaching your children how to use a compass, I think you ought to, especially for the price here. It comes with a lanyard. What I do with the lanyard is I put a lanyard and then I put a whistle on it as well. So it goes around their neck. This way they'll never get lost. And then as we are growing up in my household, I'll make sure that they understand how to read a compass, how to read a map, that kind of thing. It really does go a long way once they understand what a grid line is, how to read a map from a road map, that kind of thing, because we never really know what may or may not happen. GPS can go down, electronics fail. All right, it's that simple. All right, medical. When it comes to meds and medications, let's just talk about medical. A lot of the medical stuff that you're going to run into is boo-boo ouch stuff. And this is Rhino Rescue's boo-boo ouch kit. All right, it is waterproof, which is nice. It comes in a nice red case. And these are only like 20 bucks. I mean, these things come with everything. Now, it does not have tourniquets. It is not a trauma kit. I will actually have a trauma kit with me. But again, the reason for this going inside the backpack is just so you have something that's red. It's available. You know what it looks like. If somebody gets hurt, they're able to take a look at this, and I know exactly what's in their pack. And again, I have 4 of them, so everybody knows what to have. Now, another thing that you might want to think of, it is the cold and flu season, children being sick all the time. You might want to pack some of that stuff as well. I put a link down below if you're interested in that. So children's Tylenol, children's ibuprofen, that kind of thing. I would stock up on that. Any medications that you need, absolutely stock up on that and put it in their bag. Put it in their bag, not your bag, all right? Again, children being the size that they are, probably not going to be able to carry so much weight, okay? But at least if it's in their bag, we can distribute it later. We just know that, hey, if Dominic has a problem, I know that Dominic has his meds in his bag, not in my bag. I don't have to go to her bag. I just know where it is. It's just right there. All right, let's talk a little bit about communications, all right? Communications, all right, I got a Baofeng for every single person in my family. They are already pre-set up. I will set them up in this configuration, which is a plastic bag, a heavy plastic bag. Again, this is a necessity, mostly for the adults, but it's not bad to have one in their supplemental bag for the children as well. All right, mostly the communication is going to be going between my wife and myself. But again, it also depends if somebody else joins the party. All right, so I have friends and family in other locations. Maybe we want to set up a perimeter. Maybe the cell phone service doesn't work, so I'm going to give somebody one of these. I'll pre-program it, make sure it's good to go. We could also listen to fire, rescue, any type of disturbance that's going on in the world. All that stuff you're going to need to know, all right? So this is an absolute must, and Baofengs are cheap. Like, you can buy 2 for 50 bucks. Let's talk a little bit about rain gear. Now, rain gear, what I like to do is just get a poncho. The reason why I like a poncho is, number one, it's made for what it is. You can throw it over yourself and your kit and still be relatively dry, but you could also set it up as an emergency shelter. So everyone in my family has a USGI poncho. Now, again, you can color coordinate it again if you like. This way everybody knows who's what, that kind of thing. They do have cheaper ponchos or cheaper rain ponchos. I understand that. But I don't want to get the cheap stuff because, again, if we're stuck outside in the rain for a long extended period of time, you don't want it to soak through. Gore-Tex jackets and all that stuff is fantastic. However, if you take a couple of rain ponchos and sling them all together, you'll have quite a big shelter. All right, so that's already there. So I always have a poncho in everybody's backpack. Now, survival kit. So survival kits for me are, again, what I did with a survival kit is I just put everything inside these bags. These are SOE's toiletry bags, and I'm just going to go through my son's so you have an idea. Again, I said I'm going to put a good compass in there, something to write with, water purification, a fire kit. All right, I also marked it fire so he knows. All right, a little bit of cordage 550 cord, a headlamp with batteries. All right, I think a headlamp's a little bit better than a flashlight, but to each his own. Some chem lights. All right, a little bit of electrolytes. All right, these electrolytes will help you if you're running around and you're losing a lot of salts, that kind of thing. A multi-tool. All right, this happens to be one that's a Gerber, but each one of my sons will have a multi-tool, including my wife. She will also have it. Again, a whistle. And a couple odds and ends in here. PPE. That's one thing I wanted to talk about as well. Make sure you're packing some PPE. This is for eye protection, but I also have N100 masks. Everyone in my family will have at least an N100 or 3M or N95 mask, along with some eye pro in their bag. If you don't think it's important, just remember 9/11. Just remember how many people are getting sick. All kinds of stuff can go wrong. All right, so you need to be able to breathe. All right, the rule number one is 3 minutes without air and you die. All right, so you're going to need some way to breathe. All right, so pack some PPE in there. All right, when it comes to protection, again, I'm going to carry some extra ammunition. This is for a Glock 17 or Glock 17 variant. Again, when it comes to protection, myself and my wife will be armed. And that's just basic necessity. All right, we're not out there trying to save the world. We're just trying to protect our children. At a bare minimum, have a handgun on you. At a bare minimum. All right, so I'm familiar with Glocks. My wife knows how to shoot Glocks. We're very good at it. So there will be a couple Glock 19s or 17s on our person at all times. And again, that's basic, just bare bones necessity for protection. Now, if you wanted to up the ante and carry an AR-15, again, I don't know what scenario you may need to, but if it is SHTF, I would highly recommend an AR-15. As many magazines as you can carry, maybe even some body armor, especially if you're driving. Don't worry about the body armor, just put it on. I also have body armor, soft body armor for the kids. Now, it doesn't mean that it fits them, but you can put it inside the door panels to give them a little bit more protection. All right. Again, depending on your state's law, depending on where you can acquire those type of things, I think it's important to have some body armor and some way to protect yourself. If you want to go out there with a 22, fine. By all means, do that. That's not for me. All right. It is a rim-fired cartridge. Yes, it is lightweight. Most of the time, it does sort of work. But I want something that's going to work every single time. And we're talking about handguns. It's for personal protection, not for hunting. All right. All right, let's talk about entertainment. Now, at some point, your children are going to get super bored. So what I like to do is I like to carry maybe a plushie toy, maybe some Legos, some dinosaurs, some cars, maybe even some card games. These are going to be in your supplemental kit, all right? It doesn't have to go in your backpack, but a supplemental kit. And what this does is it keeps the children entertained. I would not use anything that's super loud or super bright. Legos are really good for this. They can just click, click, click all day. This is something they could play with the whole family. Cards, Uno, that kind of thing. Anything to keep them entertained. Children get bored very, very quickly. And if they're miserable and they're not feeling really good, sometimes a little bit of a pick-me-up or a little bit comfort from home will help them out a lot. So pack some toys for the kids. Put them in their supplemental bag, not in their survival bag. Also, when it comes to supplemental, make sure that you have enough garbage bags. All right, these garbage bags are worth its weight in gold. Just get a big drum liner. I'll get a whole box, put 2 in every single bag, and you'll be fine. The reason why I put them in there is if we do have to sleep outside, those backpacks are not going to fit any type of sleeping bag. It's just going to be too big. No one can carry it. But what you can do is you can take one of these and fill it up with fluff, duff, leaves, that kind of thing, and it will bring you above the floor. All right, that's kind of what you want. Also, in an emergency, you can use it for shelter. You can use it for carrying water, gear, parts, whatever. Black garbage bags have been around forever, and they are worth their weight in gold, so please carry some black garbage bags. Also, as part of supplemental gear, you're going to have, if you have electronics, which I'm sure most people do, you're going to need a way to charge it up. All right, so this is Goal Zero's This is a very large solar panel. All right, this solar panel, I forget what the wattage is, but depending on your needs, you might need a solar panel to charge up any of your electronics, especially something like a GPS. I wouldn't worry so much about cell phones if you are bugging out, but something like that would do very well. Also, this is a smaller version of it, and any type of batteries. Now, this battery right here is a Goal Zero. It does have an inverter. It's a little bit older. I think it's about 100 watt, but you can plug up to a laptop computer in this and charge your kit. Now, you can use that solar panel, charge this up, and then get some juice out of it. Again, it's not going to keep you warm. It's not going to be the end all. It is kind of heavy, so I would not carry that in my pack. That will be part of the supplemental gear. As far as tools go, tools goes, all right, any type of tool that does not fit in your pack, all right. So this is my wife's Ontario machete, survival machete. It has a blunt end. This is really good for chopping and hacking. Again, not the best tool in the world. She's not an avid outdoorsman. I'm going to have something a little bit better. But any type of axes, that kind of thing, you want to have it in your backpack, all right? And the reason is because if something really bad happens and you find yourself outside, you want to be able to build yourself a shelter. This should be in your pack. It's not going to do you any good if it's in your supplemental gear, all right? So you need a small machete, a large knife, a hatchet, a silky saw, something to build shelter with or to cut woods if you need it. Again, if you're finding yourself not using it, you could also take it out and put it into your supplemental. Lastly is going to be hygiene, and hygiene is extremely important. Again, I'm going with the color coordination. This is my son's. It's going to be in his color coordination so he knows. Just something simple like washcloths, toothbrush, soap, Johnson & Johnson baby shampoo. You know, he suffers from boogers, so we got the little nose remedy stuff, you know, typical butt wipes, that kind of thing, all right? So hygiene is going to be important, and it's more important than people think. If you want to carry a small hygiene kit inside your backpack, not your supplemental, that's fine, but ideally I would put this in my supplemental, all right? Just because if it's an emergency and I got nothing else, fine, so be it. I'll be dirty for as long as I can until I can find some hygiene kit. Also, microfiber towel. All right, again, I have one of these for every single one in my family. These towels are awesome. All right, you could use a shama if you want, but bathing is going to be a necessity. You got to keep your body clean in order to keep going. All right, guys, so I hope you enjoyed that presentation. I hope that you will continue to look into your family's bug out bags and adjust them. I will put all the links down below for all this equipment. Again, I'm going to repack it, stack it up nice and neat. Everybody has a name, a color. All the coordination actually works very, very well. And then, you know, hopefully we never need it. That's it. Just put it in a corner. If you need it, fine. My son and myself go out to the woods quite often, so we will take his bug out bag and we will go through it and we will test some of the gear that's out there. All right. Now, I have extra gear. I have extra boxes and I have extra all that stuff. So again, I know what my needs are. I just don't want to pack, and I think most people want to pack these huge bug out bags this big and then you can't carry it. So what's the point of that? Hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, subscribe, share. I'll put all the links down below. Thank you very much, guys, and as always, be safe.